This is a G chord guitar lesson for beginners. We'll take a look at 3 different variations of the G chord. So here are the 3 different variations for the G chord, and I'm hoping in this video I'll be able to kind of get you thinking about when do you use each one of these variations. So just to let you know, these are all correct G chords or G major chords. So when you play, they all contain the main notes in a G chord. So let's take a look at this first variation. So on this first variation, we have the 3rd finger on the 6th string, 2nd finger on the 5th string, and then 4th finger on the 1st string. So when we construct this, it'll be like this. So 3, 2, and 4. So the main concern for beginners is clearing the note underneath here. You can hear that it's kind of buzzing. So we can try and do that by just moving it a little bit higher. So move your whole hand just a little bit higher, and maybe adjusting the placement towards just a little bit towards the middle of the tip and start of the pad of the finger. So something like that. So raise it up first, because you don't need to push out your hand too much, because this will, if you push it out, it will affect the pinky. So you're just going to go like that, and it solves the problem there. You're always trying to get your string on the tip of the finger instead of the pad. So try that as a rule. But in this case, because of the vertical stretch here between these two, you can't really get this fully parallel here, right? So you need to kind of move it around and see where you need to kind of place it. So place the 3rd finger first. There we go. I cleared it. And then 2nd finger next here. And then just make sure that you have the D string ringing as well. So if it's not ringing, it might be the 2nd finger is touching the 4th string underneath. Something like that. So you may have to adjust it a little bit more. And then check the 3rd string here. It's good. And then your pinky goes down here. So I'm trying to see where I'm trying to rotate just a little bit higher here. You see my thumb is all the way up. My wrist is straight. And I do have a little bit of an angle. Just a little bit of an angle. It's really hard to do it. You can see there's an angle here. If I do too much angle here, this finger is extended too far. So you have to kind of play with that and see. Okay, and our goal is to get this pinky on the tip and try to get it away from pointing towards the floor. You see how the last joint is pointing towards the floor? You try to rotate that in and just try to get it as parallel as possible. It's not going to be completely parallel to the fretboard, like a 90 degree. It may have a little bit of an angle there. There we go. So like I said, so start from the bass and then work your way towards the trebles there, 1 string at a time. Okay. If you're having a little bit of a problem with the spacing between the frets here, you can use a capo. So put a capo on the 4th fret, and then just this is like, imagine like this is the capo. This will be my 1st fret, 2nd, 3rd fret here, and then I would actually start my chord here on the 3rd fret if I had a capo here. So the spacing is a little bit for the G shape is a little bit smaller here. It might be easier to play. So that's another little tip you can use. So when do we use this particular shape? This frees up our first finger. So if you had a C in the chord progression, this would be very easy to switch between. Like that. And the other chords, you can easily switch from here into A, into E. It's very easy, like that. Whatever's used, like whatever opens up for the first position, for the first finger. So first position would be wherever the first finger is playing. So this is the first fret, so it's in first position. Another name for the first position is also when you have open strings ringing, that's also called an open position. So that's where I would use this variation of the G chord. The second variation of the G chord starts with the second finger here. So you have the second finger and then the first finger here. So instead of 3 and 2 like we had in the other one, this starts with a 2 and then 1, and then you have you're trying to stack 3 and 4 on top here. So let's take a look at that on the guitar here, and the uses for that specific shape or left hand or fretting hand placement. All right, so 2, 1, and then 3, and then 4. So try this a couple of times. We're just kind of making the shape. You can also see that I'm trying to really angle this. If I let go of it, you see how my hand is really angled here. It's not kind of parallel this way. It's kind of angled because I'm trying to stack all these fingers so that I don't have to use as much pressure when I'm doing this. So 2, 1, 3, and then 4. A nice angle. Also, so I'm kind of anchoring. You can anchor on the first finger or the second finger to do the angle. So just kind of push your elbow out a little bit. Try not to push your wrist out too far. Something like this. Okay, we're just going for the shape right now, and then we'll talk about how to clear the notes underneath, because that's kind of the most problematic part, is trying to clear the notes underneath. Okay, so that's our shape, and everything is kind of even. There's none of this and none of that either. Can't really do anything with this. So we're gonna go second finger on the 3rd fret. So we'll just try and play that a little bit. Trying to clear the note underneath. Looks good. There we go. Just that small micro adjustment that I did. There we go. And then let's place the first finger, keeping that angle. Try to make sure that the 4th string is ringing. If it's too low like this, try to just clear it a little bit. I'm good here, and let's keep adding. This might be a little bit weird. So let's see how much pressure you need. If you have too much pressure, this is what's going to happen. You're going to collapse it like this. So if you start collapsing it, just try to kind of do a little bit of a reset. Release all the pressure on the fingers, and then reset and place it, and keep adding, creating correct muscle memory, and then make some room for the pinky. Add some pressure. Of course, how much pressure you add depends on the string action and the type of the string gauge you have. There we go. It's pretty good. Okay, so when do we use this shape? You can see that now my first finger is on the 2nd fret. So this is a 2nd position chord, but it's also called an open position chord because we have some open strings ringing in there as well. Okay, so the most common use for this shape is into D, like that. You can also use it into A. So yeah, so these are the ones I can think about right now. All right, let's take a look at the last variation of the G chord. So basically this is almost exactly the same as the previous version, except we're just leaving the second string open and we're using our fourth finger here. Or you can also, you can also use the third finger if you want. I'll show you both ideas. All right, so the same shape and just placing the fourth finger there. Okay. You can also use the third finger. That leaves our fourth finger open. If you want to do something like that, you can. I don't see any, like, when you're playing chords, any like use for the pinky here. It'd be easier to kind of go like this. So that's the last version there. I hope you enjoyed that quick little lesson for the G chord. I have another lesson here for B minor and how to play the barré chords, or how to practice them. So if you want to check that out, you can. Till next time, happy practicing.